Hi and welcome to week 24 of my wildlife year. I had plans, I said last week I was going to get back through to the borders and then be back with some more equipment, but unfortunately that didn't happen. I think I mentioned last week I was starting to get down with a cold, well developed into a nice chest infection, so I had to get a COVID test which thankfully came back negative, but I was put on antibiotics so I wasn't really up to travelling. Which means that I've been spent most of the week here in Hamilton not actually able to do very much, but I still have got out and about in the garden a bit, and I've had the camera trap out and see what we got there, and also a couple of encounters with bees, and also something else that got me quite excited. Might not be a surprise when you see it. So let's see what we find in my wildlife year, week 24. Right, my dad just pointed out this moth to me. Let's see if I can get it out. Can you see? I don't know whether you can see in there. A little bit that looks like a bat. I know.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Looks like a bat across the front, the Batman sign. That makes it a heart and dart moth. If I remember right, I'll have to check that, but I haven't had one this year. Obviously I haven't been trapping much because I've been through in Hamilton, but
It's in being your assistant.
Excellent. Right, so I'll pop it back in there if it wants to. No, it's off. Just found this little tree bumblebee here. Needs warmed up a bit, I think, in the hand. Hopefully it'll fly off.
Trying with its wings to fly.
Yeah. Well, what bumblebees can do, they can actually generate heat from their wings like that. Because they've got furry bodies, the heat stays in place, stays in the body.
Sting, Graeme.
Oh yeah. Yep. See it sting there. So, tree bumblebees only appeared in the UK in 2001 in the south, and they've made it this far north. In fact, they're way up into Scotland. They cover most of the UK now. So,
Have you seen that in the wildlife?
I did a couple of weeks ago. Glad you were listening. There it goes. You got to take off.
Thank you.
Yep, see if I can get it. Up you go. There it goes.
There you go, well done, Graeme.
There it flies off. I'm a bit excited again, so you can probably guess I found some more poo. I saw the fox crossing the road earlier, so it came up the side of my dad's house, so I'm guessing this is when this happened. Very runny, so don't know where it's been eaten. Oh, we've also got some fly activity on it now, and it looks as if that looks as if it's some mealworms. Someone's obviously been putting some mealworms out. Just remember, mealworms aren't good if you've got hedgehogs around. It causes bone deficiencies in hedgehogs, so if you're putting mealworms out for the birds, make sure they're not accessible by hedgehogs at night if the birds haven't eaten them all, and certainly don't feed hedgehogs mealworms. So unfortunately this is a bit yucky, so I'm not going to be able to actually dry it out. I don't think it's a prime example of fox poo. What do you think? My dad's just notifying me about this wee bee. It looks as if it's just a bit cold, so we'll see if it'll come on my hand for a heat up. This bee that was on my hand there, you can actually see his wings haven't formed properly. I can only assume it's come out the pupa like that, but it's not going to be able to fly very well, unfortunately. It's rather a shame. It just, because they're so heavy, because it's only got one pair of wings that are actually fully functional, it's just not able to take off. I suspect This little bee is going to be entering the food chain very shortly. The bumblebee with the deformed wing was probably suffering from a virus, not surprisingly called the deformed wing virus. It's usually found in honeybees, but is occasionally found in other bee species such as bumblebees. The virus basically stops the wings forming properly and the bees can't fly, so that one probably came from the bumblebee nest that's in the small wall where I found, just along from where I found it, so it wasn't going to survive very long in the wild, unfortunately. So these things happen in nature. Look at this. Wow. Will the bee get away?
Speak for the soul. Oh, you know, I had a disaster this morning. Oh, we did. We're getting ready to
Go away, yeah! Right, I've put the trail cam back out tonight. The thin pointed-tailed fox was about earlier, so just down behind me, just down here. So I've put some bait out over here, just a wee bit of chicken and a couple of other food scraps, and set the camera up. So we'll see if we get anything overnight. Right, well, that's my Wildlife Year 24 over and done with. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back in the Borders at some point this coming week. I've got to be, because I've got a lot on, and I'll see you for next week for my Wildlife Year week 25. Can't believe we're there already.